verse 9. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, upon the shepherds in the field. And the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were so afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. In chapter Matthew chapter 1 and verse 21. Matthew 1 and 21. And she, the blessed virgin, shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus. Reason, he shall save his people from their sin. Knowing the depraved and deplorable nature of humanity, God gave man a love gift. For God so loved the world that he gave. And what gift did God give? The gift God gave was and is in the person of his Son, Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave. The essence of God gifting Christ to this world is to attend to their most horrible need. Man came into the world in a very unwanted state, helpless, depraved, very bad and deplorable state. In Ephesians chapter 2, verse 1, it says, And you are the quickened who were dead in sins. And in verse 3, it says, all of us without exception came like that. And as a result, we were the object of wrath, even like every other person. The best gift you can give to the dead, if you are able, the best gift that you will give to the dead, if you can, what will it be? Give him life. You don't buy him shoe. He doesn't want it. You don't buy the casket. He doesn't want it. You don't bury him. He doesn't want it because he doesn't know that. The burial is for you. You bury your dead for your sake, not for their sake. If you don't want, leave it there. So the burial is not for the dead, the casket and the white and all of that. If you think that you can help the dead, make him to get up. Does anybody want to die? Even the oldest of people, they don't want to die unless life has become sour. Unless the essence of life is gone. Sense is gone. Body is gone. The life actually has gone. And what is left is an apology, as it were. The owners don't want him. The person doesn't even want to stay. But if all things are equal, even at 100 years, 110, and the person is functional, and the person is working, and the person can counsel, there is still word of wisdom. The person can still brighten the corner. The person can still help himself and be of help. Then nobody wants to lose the person. Neither does he want to lose himself. Accepting that situation, then death is unwanted. It's only when the death actually has come, but the person is just living false life. The person has died already. Because if you can't perform, you are dead. If you can't help yourself, you are dead. If the eyes are dead, then the person is partly dead. If the brain is dead, that individual is partly dead. Stomach is dead, or leg is dead, or some parts. I want to tell you that you are a composite being. You are made up of parts. If they cut off the various parts and dismember them one by one, will you be? So what are we saying? Death is unwanted, generally speaking. And even the dead doesn't want that. Therefore, the greatest help, the greatest gift that you want to give to the dead, if you can, give him life. Now, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. And the essence of Jesus Christ coming into the world is to give life to the dead. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. And he said, leave the dead, let them bury their dead. In Ephesians 2:1, I quote, it says, and you are the quickened who were all dead. He came to give life to the dead. And that is the greatest of gifts. Greatest of gift by all standards. Look at it from any perspective. By the way, the gift that God gave to the world is his greatest possession. His only begotten Son, right or wrong? And Jesus Christ came to give the world the greatest gift of giving them life. Solving man's greatest need. That's what he came to do. The need that no other man can solve for the other. Neither can anyone solve the need for themselves. Now he came to supply the greatest need of man. And so you consider it the greatest gift. In Matthew 16, verse 26, what did Jesus say? And what shall it profit a man if he gains the whole and his soul is lost? So what do you want to give to him? Car? What do you want to give? Give the person certificate? Give the person the greatest profession? What do you want to give to a man that is dead? What shall it profit a man if he gains education, if he gains degrees, if he gains employment, if he gains Canadian citizenship, if he gains American citizenship, if he gains the greatest knowledge, he can go to open the colony in Mars and want human beings to go there. He's an astronaut, he's a scientist, is whatever he can be. What shall it profit a man if he has acquired all those knowledge, all those science, technology, and philosophy, and what have you know-how? But the person remains dead. Indeed. There is no use for that. So on that note, we are considering this point this morning, getting that greatest gift of God. Does anyone want to get it? I want to say also that receiving this greatest gift, listen to this, receiving this greatest gift of God and retaining the same is the greatest thing that can happen to any human under the sun. Can I repeat myself? Is anybody really listening to what I'm saying? Please listen to it. It does help. Getting this greatest gift that God has for you on this earth, as human he created, getting it and ensuring that you retain it is the highest thing that can happen to any human being. Is the greatest blessing. We talked of showers of blessing. That is the number one, the greatest of blessings. The greatest thing, the highest thing that can happen to anyone. Don't I remember that they sing the song, the greatest, how do they sing? The greatest thing I need is knowing you, oh Lord. How do they sing it? They're all gone. Either the greatest thing I need or what? Or the greatest thing I know is, the greatest thing I have is knowing Jesus. Well, that is the greatest thing. That's the greatest blessing that can happen to anyone that is alive on this side of the divide. To get into it, getting this that greatest gift from God, we are looking at it from 2 points. One, receiving this greatest gift of all. 2, returning this greatest gift of all. Receiving this greatest gift of all. It should be noted that Okay, let it be repeated that God so loved the world that he gave what? And let it also be underscored that Jesus came into this world with the sole purpose to save his people from their sin. Did anyone get that? Did anyone get that? And that is the greatest thing. Sin is an undoing. Now let it be noted again that the disease of sin has dual aspects. And therefore, if anyone will get the problem of sin solved, he must give it a double solution. Sin exists in dual form or has dual aspects. True solution to this malady, to this problem of sin, must also be two-pronged. Are you ready to listen? Must be two-pronged. Now, the two aspects of sin. You have the inward sin, what you call the inbred sin, the depraved nature, or the Adamic nature. In other words, the nature that every man came into the world with. Reason in Romans 3:23, all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Let me explain it this way. We have little children here that do not yet know even their left. There are those that don't know their left from their right even now. And there are those that are just kids. They don't know good and bad. They do whatever. Are they human beings? I want to ask you, did they come into the world with sin? Some people teach and call it original sin. And their explanation of original sin is that the sin Adam and Eve committed that made them to be ostracized and sent out of the garden, that God imputed that sin, the guilt of that sin upon everyone, including the fetus in the womb. That's not right. That's not perfectly right. God cannot hold you accountable for what you knew nothing about. God cannot hold you accountable for what you didn't do. The soul that sinneth, it shall. That's why he said, let the children come to me, because of such is the kingdom of. And he said, you that are adults, already developed, reasonable. He said, except you be converted to be like a child, you will by no means enter the kingdom. Now, how is it then that all have sinned? There is what is called Adamic nature. Now, these children, although they have not sinned, sin is not imputed to them. Nevertheless, they have some inherited nature, what you can call human depravity or Adamic nature. And this Adamic nature is there. And that nature is such that the person cannot but, as the person keeps developing, growing and maturing, it cannot but manifest that nature that will make the person to start telling lies, that will make the person to start, give me, say, that's what I want to eat. I won't give you. No, give me, no. Even before the child begins to know that that is wrong, is already manifesting. But the point is that while the child is manifesting that, sin is not imputed without law. The sense does not understand, what it's doing. So it's not recorded until that child begins to know this is right, this is wrong. And then goes to do that wrong thing. And necessarily will do it because it's nature. Necessarily will want to be selfish, would want to tell lies, would want to be angry, would want to fight, would want to defend yourself, and then if it means fighting, talk bad as they talk to you, and all that. There is no person that came into the world and didn't find that in themselves. Am I right? Thus, all have sinned. Meanwhile, before the child even can begin to commit those That is, when you tell lies, that is actual sin, actualized sin, or committed sin. When you manifest anger or quarrel and all of that, manifest selfishness, hatred, and all that, that is actually committed sin. But before that, there is the nature inside, two-pronged, Adamic nature, and it's what you call sinful nature, and then actual sin committed. Now, those are the two aspects in which sin exists. In Romans chapter 6, look at verse 6. Knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin. For he that is dead is freed from sin, the motions of sin, the body of sin, the nature of sin. That's what that means. And then in James chapter 1, verse 14. James 1, verse 14. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Evil nature coming from within. You didn't get it from outside. It is springing from within. That sin comes when someone yields to